Hello everyone, my name is Anna Zivanovic. I'm an alumna from UCMerced's class of 2015, and I'm very excited to be part of TEDxUCMerced's conference this year. My talk is about empathy in the workplace. I hope you find this helpful, while also some solace from a story you can relate to. Being an empath means that sometimes you'll cry at work. This talk is about making it your superpower. Before I begin, I want to put out a disclaimer. I'm an analyst in IT. What do I know about empathy? Turns out that being an analyst in IT means having tough conversations, sometimes introspective ones with yourself. I started out as an intern in IT with no direct experience, transferable skills, if you will. That meant my assignments were fast-paced, required quick turnaround times, and being in rooms with extremely experienced people. I felt overwhelmed, and it still happens sometimes. There was one time when I was struggling, and I was coming out of a meeting that resulted in conflicting assignments. A mentor stayed behind with me. I remember breaking down, bawling, "There's too many cooks in the kitchen," followed by, "I'm not cut out for this." They paused and said, "We're humans, not robots." They consoled me in a way I'd never thought of before. And that's the story I want to share with you. My journey in embracing empathy. What was I actually experiencing? Empaths can be sponges when it comes to people's stories and experiences. That meeting happened to be a very tough one. I don't actually remember what happened, but what I do know is that you might think empaths and this emotion is just in stories like books and movies, but it was happening to me in real life, and it happens at work. It's no surprise. It's mainly because the average person spends a third of their lives working or in some sort of work environment. We can't hit the pause button on our emotions. Doing what you love, loving what you do, it's rewarding, but it can also be draining. I thought of this as a weakness for quite a while, until I started looking for some positives and how to make it better. I leaned into it, and that's what I really recommend to you, or want for you to share with you, is ask yourself, what could I do with all these feelings? What I really wanted to do, and what some of you might be experiencing or experienced in the past, is connecting, wanting to connect with someone and staying connected. The reason for my feelings was really a disconnect. Days that I needed to get an assignment done, and what I started to do was bring in my favorite snack or bake something to share with everyone. I even connected with someone over toast. Now, I know there are limitations working from home, but think about the ways that you can connect with others or stay connected. I don't have a solid answer. What I do recommend are virtual coffees. or just taking the time to reach out. What my mentor was saying is empathy sets us apart as humans. At a time when we're constantly automating our day-to-day lives, day-to-day tasks, empathy is at the heart of those innovations. Think about your favorite apps or services. It inspires our problem solving when we put people first. Whether it's end users or people part of that build process, in a way it enforces a shared purpose. It's especially important now through the uncertainty of the pandemic. It's important to talk about empathy because it helps promote work that is meaningful, with long-term benefits rather than short-term burnout. You might be feeling it now, studying, working from home. So what can you do about it? Find ways to connect the things you're studying and doing with your own pain points. You can start now or anytime, really. Empathy is all around us. It's present. It's in our past. It's in our future. What I mean by that is empathy is part of being present. Being in the moment, experiencing something with someone or something. Embracing empathy towards yourself and others is part of overcoming your past, whether individual or shared experiences. And finally, having empathy towards the future is part of embracing possibilities and continuous improvement. Problem solving with an opportunistic mindset. Are there any drawbacks of empathy? Yes, yes. It's a fairly new concept to apply in the work context. Our society tends to incentivize the outgoing and outspoken. It takes a lot of practice and grit to figure out how to leverage empathy effectively, but it's a skill worth developing. You'll feel like an imposter. You'll feel like a has-been. Now, those are one and the same. And I'll tell you how. You're comparing yourself to others, including your past self. And it's not your fault. We're programmed to do this. We are taught through school, through life, to train our minds in a way that we build our toolkit by comparing things we think are similar. But we are not similar. We're not similar to our past selves because experience makes us who we are today. We are also not the people we compared ourselves to because, again, we do not experience the same things or experience one event the same way through the same lens. Improving the way we talk about ourselves is a step in the right direction. Again, we are not robots. Our unique experiences and characteristics are what make us human. So, how do you make it your superpower? Make room for yourself. Own your space. The journey to embracing empathy is long and the road less traveled, especially in school and the workplace. It requires you to grow and find yourself. But I'll tell you now it's worth it. And sometimes it takes a step back from what you're doing, a pause, in order to understand and communicate your needs. Finding your strengths, your weaknesses, and your toolkit, it's invaluable. Sometimes it's in the people you meet, the projects you work on, or sometimes even toast.